Cheers. Where's Tex? I'm going to set this right here for you, buddy, okay? Not going to be all right. Hello, all. Hi. I'm going to settle in here. Don't panic. Towel. I'll get this. Boy, it feels colder than last night. Maybe they have a bit wet cuffs and pants, maybe, from being outside and doing a session recently. And there we go. Got a little hot Joe in our Ken Nichols mug. You know what I think I'm going to do? Speaking of Ken Nichols, I'm going to use his blanket again here, which I used last night, and that probably was part of, in the unheated part of the house, which is most of the house these days. But that's just another COVID story. Probably 80%, loss this year. And but an awful lot more work, and this is some of it. And I don't know if I want all those on my lap or not, but we're here. Hopefully it's quiet enough. Looks like the snow has receded. I see a bunch of blue sky just past the Norway spruce. White clouds, and more westerly is some seems more overcast and more gray clouds. So maybe we're seeing a shift here. But I'll check in with you guys in a moment. I can't see any comments, but I'm going to plan to check them here so I can join along. I did this last night at the end of a, 14 or 15 hour teaching day, and I thought, let me make my tea, have a sit, do a little meditation. Let's say the flock, if you will, has been stressed and strained and anxious and worried and fearful and concerned, and seeming to me in need of connection and support. And I thought, one thing I can do is just do a little meditation with you. If you're not joining our Zoom classes or on the YouTube channel or logged into Patreon or here in person, which doesn't really happen too much anymore with social distancing. I think this year has seen the loss of nearly every single class that I had, and it's just like 95% private students, but that number has been reduced greatly as well. So just proportionally, there's been a change there. But anyway, if you're not doing all that, maybe just checking in with me here like this, a little bit of respite. So my plan was not to teach a sitting and teach a breathing and a posture and a gesture, lead a guided meditation. I'm kind of sitting in a chair. I might sit in to do an interview or a podcast or something like that, as opposed to a bench. So I'm actually leaning back a tiny bit, and this will go back further. Maybe I will later. And invite you to do the same. Cozy up, cuddle up. If that means that, lost Texadillo now, but if that means you have a stuffed animal with you and that helps, I certainly recommend that. So what I ended up doing last night is just doing some readings from Red Pine's translations of some Tang Dynasty poets, and then doing a little meditation, or perhaps sharing space in which one might meditate. Not really following a time, not making it a teaching, which is a bit of a challenge for me because that's what I tend to do. That's certainly my profession. That's what I do all the time. But trying to purposely, so let me read something, shift the mind, shift the quality of the mind, maybe direct the mind and focus the mind a little bit, and then share a space meditatively. Perhaps you're going to share the space contemplatively, and that'll be fine. And then I'll probably just trying to gently bring you back and do another reading. I grabbed, I guess, 6 translations of a book, just kind of pulled the top 6 off the shelf, in which I have, 100 translations. And my guess is I'll just kind of flip, and wherever my mind settles is what we'll read. So this isn't a sermon. I give you a little background story, and then we'll start. Hey, Jared, you've joined us too. Thank you again. Hello. So the background is that I'm going to say that I don't know if I was 17, something like that, so 30 years. So however many administrations that we've had in the executive branch here in the United States of America, at every inaugural, which is occurring today, maybe even now, I don't know the time, but something like that. I've mailed a copy of this book to the executive branch, and I've done the same whenever there's been a new justice of the Supreme Court. I've done the same with a number of other sort of inaugural moments, such as governors and so forth. I don't think I've ever gotten anything back, like acknowledgement or thanks, or hey, thanks for that. I read it and have clarified my insights into the human species. Nobody's written back saying thanks, I'm now enlightened, I plan to rule better. So I don't have any thoughts that it actually reaches the person I send it to, and even if it did, I don't have any thoughts that they're going to read it. Even if I did, I don't have any real thoughts that they'd read it with an open mind. They'd read it and take it as an opportunity to defend their own point of view. That's my expectation. But nevertheless, it feels like this small thing that I could do. And so I do it repeatedly, and that happens today. So I have one packaged up to go to the post office, and I'll probably package up a couple more, for the president, for the vice president, and for the new Speaker of the House. What is Chuck Schumer, and it kind of reminds me. I had an opportunity a number of years ago to get a letter into the hands of a trusted consigliere to the president of our country, as well as into the trusted hands of the consigliere to the president of the Ukraine, both of whom, prior to sending the letter, understood the importance of it and promised to assure that it would actually arrive by their hand into the hands of the executive of the country. So I thought the same thing. What are the chances it actually makes it? What are the chances I can write it well enough to feel like it could do some good? What are the chances that they even read it if they do get it? What are the chances that they read it with an open mind and don't simply defend themselves, their particular worldview in the reading of it? And then, of course, what are the chances that it changes anything, even if they did read it with an open mind and had a different insight or understanding of the world or humanity or philosophy or whatever? nevertheless, I thought, why don't I treat this opportunity that I have as though they will get it, they will read it, they will read it with an open mind, they will illuminate their mind, they will want to act on that illumination and learn more, essentially. And so maybe fly me somewhere and have me teach something. Obviously, what are the odds, right? Essentially none, and that didn't happen, right? Didn't even get a letter back, anyway. But I thought, if it does do this fantasy or any steps towards it, right, it would behoove me to address myself to the task as though it will have its greatest imagined effect, the effect that I imagine it could have. And so I devoted myself to writing the letter, rewriting, revising, rewriting, researching, revising, rewriting, sharing it with a number of people, or portions of it with a number of people, to get feedback. Then, of course, rewriting. And I felt that when I was done, it was the best work I had ever done. Like the best Kung Fu, the most directed expression of my consciousness that I have achieved in my life. And it felt like the most important work to do, even though a vanishingly small chance that it had any effect beyond myself, it still felt exceedingly important. And it felt really healthful to approach the problem of the opportunity, to approach the problem as though it would be met by minds that I could only fantasize about. But anyway, I did that. I wrote the letter, sent it, shared it, etc. And then I thought, what do I do now? Do I send it as an op-ed to the Times or something? I don't know what I'm supposed to do with it now. But anyway, do the same thing with this book. And I'm kind of thinking we are going to read a little and meditate a little after we sip a little. The letter was on nonviolence, by the way. That was the topic of the letter. Okay. I'm sitting here in the library at Someday Farm. I was just checking the stream to see if there were questions or comments. Naturally, there are not. So I will proceed here in a couple moments. Nice. Glad you made it, Shirley, too. So I'm going to just start with the top one, which is, this is Sam Hamill's translation. The book I've been talking about is Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. So I've opened to chapter 15. So my aim is here just to read and then settle into a meditative place, perhaps a contemplative place. I'm aiming to be in a meditative place, if not an actual meditation. The ancient Taoist masters sought the mystery and profundity, penetrating darkness. Because we cannot know them, we are left with mere description. They were careful, as when fording winter rivers, cautious, respectful of neighbors, polite like a guest, yielding like melting ice, simple as uncarved wood, open like a valley, amorphous like muddy water. But the muddiest water clears as it's stilled, and out of that stillness life rises. One who keeps to the Tao does not wish to be filled, and not wishing to be full need not cover his head. So I'm just going to settle in. If you have questions or comments, feel free to type. I'll invite you back anytime now, no rush. Okay, we're going to have a sip and open the next one. The next one's by Jerry L. And it's from the Tao of Recovery. So I've opened to chapter 30. Recovery does not happen by force. We succeed because we live by suggestion, not by rules. We succeed by attraction, not by promotion. We succeed because we guide. We do not instruct. We succeed because we model. We do not mandate. We succeed because we suggest. We do not coerce. Our trail of pain and misery are not so subtle, and so it is easy to see where we have been with force. Be giving, but be wary of pride. Be effective and not arrogant. Do good works and avoid conceit. Surviving is nice. Thriving is better. And that was chapter 30. So invite you into a meditative place, or perhaps a meditative state, or perhaps simply a contemplative state. Welcome to whoever's joining us now. Undirected meditation, perhaps having been inspired by chapter 30. Okay. Invite you back. Take your time. Stretch your body, rub your body, sip your tea, blow your nose. That's nice. I'll check in with you in a moment. I've picked up the Tao of War, translated by Ralph D. Sawyer. So we'll have a read from that. Hi, Stephen. Good to see you, sir. So I've opened chapter 32. And so I think we'll read from there. Now, so Ralph Sawyer did this book. I don't know if I said that. The Tao is eternally unnamed. Simplicity, although small, cannot be subjugated by any under heaven. With any monarch who cleaves to it, the myriad things willingly cast their lot. Heaven and earth mutually unite to send down sweet dew, which the people, uncommanded, share equally. At the beginning, when things were ordered, there were names already being extant. They similarly knew to stop. One who knows where to stop will not be imperiled. Tao's immanence under heaven is like valley streams joining the great rivers and oceans. So we'll, having seated the mind and heart, sorry for the noise there, that was a poor decision. We will have an opportunity to meditate undirectedly. For me, it's unposturedly as well, which feels really unusual. And not at all warmly. welcome you back. I invite you to take your time, remind you to breathe or stretch or shift or adjust or decide you're done. Sometimes I need to stop to write. After a meditation like that, so I'm probably wouldn't do that in a class, but this is me in my time sharing it with you. So I have a couple more here, so I expect I'll move on. Hi, Telly. Telly Diamantes. Oh, so here we have side-by-side versions, like Suzuki and Legge. Goddard, I think, is in this one. I don't recall. Medhurst. So I think I'm going to just skip through and read one of them. I have a sip. I don't know if I'll do each of the ones on my lap. I may be limited in time. I mean, I probably am. But I may become aware of it and consider it and then act on that. So I just opened to Legge's translation of chapter 48, which is on page 80 here. A tree in the woods. Cool. I don't see much more information, but it's James Legge. I just don't. I feel like it was like 1891 or something, that translation. But at any rate, here we are. He who devotes himself to learning seeks from day to day to increase his knowledge. He who devotes himself to the Tao seeks from day to day to diminish his doing. He diminishes it and again diminishes it till he arrives at doing nothing on purpose. Having arrived at this point of non-action, there is nothing which he does not do. He who gets as his own all under heaven does so by giving himself no trouble with that end. If one take trouble with that end, he is not equal to getting as his own all under heaven. So I invite you to take any inspiration from that and come into a meditative state or space. If not, into a meditation, that's what I'll be doing. And if neither, perhaps into a contemplative practice or state. And if not that, maybe just share this live stream or comment or end it and be on your way. That's probably also fine. So I don't see any comments, so I'm going to enjoy that James Legge spark from the late 19th century, I think. Welcome you back. Take your time. Oh, glad to see you're loving it. Thank you. It's that little bit that I feel like I might be able to offer on a day, in a time that many people are anxious, fearful, stressed out, worried, and relates to something I'm doing today anyway. I'm feeling like I'm getting pressed for time, so I'm going to try and do one more. Maybe I'll get to two more. I'm sure that was a briefer meditation. This is Ellen Chen, and so I've opened to chapter 27, which for her is on page 122. I like this. She has the opinion running through it without the diacriticals, but nevertheless, good read. I appreciate the commentary on this in this effort. Good running leaves no tracks. Good speech has no flaws. Good counting uses no counters. A good lock uses no bolts, yet cannot be opened. A good knot uses no rope, yet cannot be untied. Hence the sage is always good at saving people. Therefore no one is rejected. He is always good at saving things. Therefore nothing is rejected. This is called following the light. Therefore the good person is the not good person's teacher. The not good person is the good person's capital. One who does not honor the teacher or love the capital is greatly confounded, though knowledgeable. This is called the important mystery. Invite you into a meditation now, or whatever is appropriate state for you. invite you out. Last one is John Woo. And see this. I guess this is the Powerball, right? The last random one. I've opened the page, chapter 62, which is page 127 of John Woo's Tao Te Ching. This may be my last check on the comments. Naturally, none. I thought what I might do for the last one, something I often do when I'm doing this practice myself, is when we think about how to go into the pond for a swim or the pool or whatever, we think kind of binary. Well, there's two ways. You can go in slowly, kind of get used to the water, maybe shriek a little or hesitate or retreat, and then you can have the jump in, get it all over with. So the time coming in is this, as opposed to something like that. And that's a fair description of the two basic types of going into the water. But it doesn't help us put us in the mind of how long are we in the water and how do we come out? Do we come out all at once? Do we come out slowly? Do we come out sort of very gradually, or pause or retreat, halfway come out and go back in, or what have you? And I'm put in mind of the way a swallow will drink water. It skims over the surface and like so, right? And you'll see the effect on the water of its having taken a drink. And it seems to me that the entry into the water, of course, is rapid, like somebody, cannonballing or something. But the time in the water is also rapid, and then the exit from the water is rapid. So we have these kind of three stages that are all self-similar. And when we have our breath, we have an in-breath, we have the experience of having the breath, and then we have an out-breath. So we can similarly see that we come into the breath, we have the breath, we come out of the breath, right? We come into the breath, we have the breath, we come out of the breath, like the swallow drinking. And so I thought the next one, what we do is just through the duration of the breath, we'll have a meditation or contemplation, or hold a meditative space, or just log off or laugh at me, whatever you like. Or be more creative than that. Whatever you do is fine. So I'll read the chapter, which, I think I already marked, was at 62. Then one inhale, one experience of having the inhale for the duration it is, one exhalation, and that constitutes the entirety of the meditation. So, skimming, swallow, sipping. And this is John Woo, his translation of Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching. The Tao is the hidden reservoir of all things, a treasure to the honest. It is a safeguard to the erring. A good word will find its own market. A good deed may be used as a gift to another. That a man is straying from the right path is no reason that he should be cast away. Hence, at the enthronement of an emperor, or at the installation of the three ministers, let others offer their discs of jade, following it up with teams of horses. It is better for you to offer the Tao without moving your feet. Why did the ancients prize the Tao? Is it not because by virtue of it, he who seeks finds, and the guilty are forgiven. That is why it is such a treasure to the world. So I'd like to thank you for joining me on my likely very small, perhaps deeply unimportant, almost certainly unnecessary offering. But anyway, there you have it. I'm going to fold our Ken Nichols. Last night when we did a similar meditation, there's just a moment where I kind of shook this out to, I think, to drape it across myself, not fold it, which is kind of holding it for longer. And then the frame that YouTube chose to sort of, you know, the still image that represents the video was that. So I sent it to Ken, whose artwork is there. And actually he made this mug too. I thought that was pretty awesome. So I'll check one last time for questions or comments, and then time for me. This was a great moment. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Anyway, that's our time. Make sure that if it says you'd like to be notified, you say yes, because I'm not following a schedule. And feel free to share this with other groups, and I'll upload it. Thank you all. Appreciate it. Love.